there is a place on the ocean floor that might just be the greatest mystery in all of human history. Hi everyone, I'm here, and this is the most mysterious place on Earth. But what makes this place so mysterious are the ruins of a city that seem to have been submerged underwater for thousands of years. Now, this has led to an unbelievable number of crazy theories, and today we're going to dive into one of the largest unsolved mysteries on our planet. The existence of this sunken city was first brought to light in the early 20th century, when the ocean was charted by a British engineer named Robert Ballard. Now, he would go on to discover some of the most iconic shipwrecks ever, including the Titanic, but it was during a separate mission that he stumbled upon something even stranger than a legendary shipwreck. He discovered an area of the seafloor near the southern tip of India that seemed to show clear signs of human-made structures. Now, this is important because in order to build anything, you need a very stable surface. And normally, when someone builds something in the water, like a dock or a boat, they will start with a foundation laid on the seabed. So, Robert Ballard knew that whatever he was looking at was real, but he had no idea what exactly he was looking at. This discovery would kick off decades of speculation regarding the existence of an ancient civilization that lived around the southern tip of India. And according to some, this place may have been the mythical land of Lemuria. Before we continue, let me tell you about Lemuria. According to legend, this was an actual continent that existed in the Indian Ocean, linking the modern-day African continent to Antarctica and Australia. There were said to be many advanced civilizations on the continent of Lemuria. In fact, some say that the civilization may have been where humanity began, and others say that it was home to an advanced race of humans who were incredibly spiritual and lived in harmony with nature. But unfortunately, the continent of Lemuria would sink beneath the waves, only leaving behind a few ruins and scattered artifacts. Now, if you want to learn more about the lost continent of Lemuria, make sure to check out the video linked above. Now, let's get back to the ruins that were discovered at the bottom of the ocean. Many people believe that these could be the remnants of the legendary continent of Lemuria, but as of right now, there is no concrete evidence to prove this theory. However, many say that the structures that were discovered are too orderly to have been caused by natural processes alone. In fact, some researchers claim that the buildings resemble ancient pyramids and other man-made structures. But of course, there is another explanation. Some say that the structures were simply the remnants of a natural disaster, such as a tsunami. However, there is no evidence that a catastrophic event ever took place in this part of the world. And even if there was, it is hard to explain how so many structures would have been destroyed, but still managed to retain their shape. Some have also suggested that the structures aren't actually buildings at all, but instead coral reefs that have grown around submerged rocks. However, this theory doesn't really hold up because the formations are way too complex, and they do unlook like any type of coral reef that we know of. So what else do we know about these amazing ruins? Well, over the years, several expeditions have been mounted to investigate the site, the most recent one being in 2007. During this expedition, the team used advanced sonar technology to map the area in greater detail. What they found was truly amazing. They found streets that were lined with what appeared to be buildings, and in some cases, the walls were over 30 feet tall. In addition, they found what looked like a large gate with carvings on it, and some of the carvings seemed to depict animals that are no longer around today, such as dinosaurs. Now, this is pretty crazy, because if the carvings do indeed depict dinosaurs, then this would mean that the city is thousands of years old. Of course, this doesn't necessarily mean that humans and dinosaurs lived at the same time, because it is possible that the people who lived in this city had fossils of dinosaurs and were simply recreating them. But either way, the age of this city could be thousands of years. In addition to the gate, the team also found what appeared to be a lighthouse and other structures that were too perfect to have been created by nature. But what is perhaps most amazing is that not far from the city, the team found what looked like a road leading all the way to the mainland. Now, this suggests that the city was once connected to the mainland, and that it was always submerged underwater. It's possible that over time, the sea level rose, and eventually, the city was completely underwater. But even though the city seems to be incredibly old, some have challenged the very fact that it is even real. In 2014, the Indian government denied the existence of the city and claimed that the structures discovered were nothing more than rock formations. However, there have been so many expeditions and independent researchers who have documented the ruins that it's hard to believe that they were all making up these findings. There are even satellite images that show the structures, which makes it seem even more unbelievable that they are all just figments of people's imaginations. Despite all of the evidence, mainstream archaeologists and historians have been reluctant to accept the existence of the city. Instead, they have come up with several alternative theories to try to explain how the formations got there. For example, some have suggested that the formations are the result of erosion. However, this doesn't really explain how the structures got there, and it also doesn't explain why they look so man-made. Others have suggested that the formations are the result of a natural phenomenon known as This is when bacteria and other microorganisms grow in a particular direction towards a certain chemical substance. However, this theory doesn't really explain why the formations are so intricate and why they look like man-made structures. Some researchers have even suggested that the city isn't located where it was originally reported. Instead, they claim that it's actually located further south in the Java Trench. Now, this is a very remote area, and it has not been explored as much as the area near the southern tip of India. So it's possible that there are structures here that could explain the origins of the city. But as of right now, there is no evidence to support this theory either. So what is the truth about these mysterious ruins? Are they the remnants of an ancient civilization that lived in the Indian Ocean? Or are they simply the result of natural forces? The answer to this question remains a mystery. But one thing is for sure. The discoveries made off the coast of India have captured the imagination of people all over the world, and they have sparked a debate that is unlikely to end anytime soon. I personally believe that the structures are real and that they are the remnants of an ancient civilization. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments below. And while you're at it, make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. I would love to have you back for the next video. And who knows, maybe one day we will uncover the truth about this amazing place. With that said, I would also like to take a moment to say a special thank you to our supporters whose names you can see on the screen right now. If you would like to see your name on the screen and show the world your support for this channel, then join our membership program today. I'll see you guys in the next video.